First of all, thank you very much for letting me be here today. And a couple of students, I think, are out here. And that's what this is all about. You know, this is all about people coming in front of you today to support you to maybe make a decision that you're about to down the road in your journey, maybe a little easier. And that's why we're here. That's why your parents are here, families here, friends are here, faculty's here. But what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about myself and what I'm doing and how excited I am to run to work every day. And as that great speaker, Mr. Lindstad, just in front of us, explained how excited he is about his job, I too am passionate about my job. But I'll give you a little secret. I'm passionate about a lot of things. And that's just how I live. That's just how I am. And I think what's really important is, it's this. Who you are is where you came from in life. And I preach that. And I talk about that all the time. Because in your life, you're going to come across many decisions that you're going to have to make. And all I want you to do is when you get to that decision, I want you to close your eyes. And this is what I want you to say. The next decision I make, will my parents, my mother and father, will the guardian that cares for me, will they be proud of this next decision? And I promise you, your answer will be there. Because the journey that you're on doesn't start really right now. It started all the way back when you were young. And it helped foster you to the decisions that you're about to make in the future. Now, all I can tell you is a little bit about myself. I think that's really important. As Heather said, I'm a graduate from Chelmsford High School. I was originally born in East Boston. My father moved a big Italian family up to Chelmsford, Massachusetts. I had 5 brothers. And I said I had 5 brothers. I lost one to leukemia in 2007. My brother James, who was also a CHS graduate. And this journey that I've been on, you know, started in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, and I went to school here, and I graduated here, and I was able to, as a result of sports, to go on to play football at Northeastern. And if it wasn't for football, and I say that so with a smile, is because football gave me opportunity for education and gave me a full scholarship. And I went on to Northeastern, and I was passionate about being an entrepreneur, and I think that's really important because I want you to know that could be the avenue you take. So what are kind of some of the feelings that you might get as an entrepreneur? How do you know if you're an entrepreneur? I actually think there's a little entrepreneur in everybody out there. They just don't know it. And some people it's easy to bring out. Some people it stays suppressed for a little while. And maybe older in life that they decide at that point, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, you know what? It's time for me to do something I always dreamed of. And dreams are unbelievable. You know, people look at our operation and they say, oh my God, Sal, what great vision you have. And first of all, I get way too much credit for my organization. We have an organization of about 1,000 employees. It started with Sal's Pizza, went on to some other hospitality programs, wholesale business. We probably deliver 25% of the pizzas to public schools in the state of Massachusetts. We're in 1/7 of the state with a retail store. And that program has really, the most exciting part of Sal's Pizza, the hospitality program, is this: sustainability. We've been in business now for almost 30 years. And you know, that's a good thing. You know what's so special about being in business for 30 years? Not the fact that you could potentially be viewed as successful, and a man and woman is not viewed as a success in life by the number of zeros after the one, I promise you that. It's viewed as the impact you made in your community, the impact you made in your family, the impact you made in society. That's what you're a success or not a success in life. So with that, I started Sal's Pizza. I then, very quickly, I decided in college that pizza was what I wanted to go into. And now, I think it's really important. I didn't buy a business. I didn't inherit it from Grandma, who December 28th, she turned 102 years old. So that's pretty exciting. We're blessed to have the matriarch still in the family like that. But I think what's important is I went to my professors at Northeastern, and I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. Can you help me? And they said, Sal, what are you interested in? So with the help of my father, who at the time was still alive, he gave me some knowledge, and the knowledge was maybe the food business. And I started doing research. I didn't know about Sal's Pizza or the business I was going to go into until I finished doing all the understanding and all the experiments that I learned at Northeastern University. Now, just like the speaker in front of me, you'd never know the path you're going to take. Keep an open mind. That's what I actually employ you to do. And that's what I did. I kept an open mind, and I kept ideas of different types of food businesses, and before I knew it was a pizza business. And it was pizza because it was the #1 food in the world. It had the highest gross and profit margin, and you could still create a product from scratch, relatively inexpensive. And that was really important because the value proposition that I wanted to was something that I want to do well for the families. I wanted to offer a product that everybody could enjoy at a reasonable price. So from Sal's Pizza, this journey, and I'm going to tell you the truth, I sold my car to open the first store. Why? Once again, you know, my father was disabled when he was a young man, when I was in college, and my mom worked 65 hours a week. And my brothers used to come home and put their checks on the refrigerator, and you didn't know what you were going to get after my mother cashed the check. But it was that teamwork, so I'm so passionate about sports, it was that teamwork that really ingrained something special in our family. But when I opened Sal's Pizza for the very first time, I was scared as hell, right? Imagine going to school, graduating from one of the finest institutions in Massachusetts, or maybe one of the finer ones in the country, and you've decided to put it all in a small business that you're going to open. And I'm going to tell you, the whole store was as big as that room.
Yes.
It was small. You remember?
Yes.
And I sold my car, and I parlayed it, and my dad took a third mortgage. My grandmother stepped up and gave me a few bucks, and this is really how it started. Sometimes something great starts from something very small, but you never know. See, you never know because you're in the moment, and you don't realize it until years later you reflect and you say, wow, look at how something special this was. So the idea that we had of Sal's Pizza, we grew it, but instantly I realized what else can complement what we're doing, and it was the real estate business, and I always had a passion for real estate. So I started the real estate business, I started looking for locations, and I started placing my stores in the real estate business. But then I realized from one store you could have more than just a Sal's Pizza. You could have maybe other retail stores that you could lease. And within a very short time, this 1,200 square foot or 1,500 square foot store grew to 3,000, 10,000, and today, fast forward it, Lupoli companies, our construction company, will probably develop over $100 million in development this year. We'll put together a program that this year alone will put us probably at 5 million square feet, which is one of the larger landowners in Massachusetts, and we're excited about that. And that's because of a lot of hard work. See, before I was here, I literally came from work and ran here, left work early because I know how important this is and how exciting this is. But there's something else that you have to understand. Work is great, job is great, you follow your passion, mom and dad and the guardians are rooting for you, but you can never forget where you came from. You can never forget Chelmsford High School, the people that are behind you that are looking at you as a source of inspiration, right? See, they're looking at you and they're waiting for the next move you make because maybe that's a move they're gonna make. So when I came back here, and as we continue to grow our business, my near and dear football coach, Jack Fletcher, and Bruce Rich asked me 14 years ago if I would come back and help support the Chelmsford High School football program. And in the very beginning, I was a little nervous about it. I said, how am I going to leave my business and how am I going to do this? But then it came to me like when things are cloudy and it just opens up and you see the sun. And what I saw was an opportunity to give back what was so great to me. You see, the greatest influences in my life, there's no question about it, was my mother and father. But the other influences in my life came from out of this building, and that's the truth. They came from my coaches, they came from my teachers. I just happened to see a gentleman, and he's at the back of the room. His name is Robert Parasol. He was my IA teacher, and he was also a football coach. And I went up to him tonight and I said, Coach, how does it feel that after 35 years of seeing your student, the first thing your student did is when he saw you smile? And that's the impression he left on me. And that's the impression my coaches left on me. You see, my coaches, and when you play a sport or you follow an art, it doesn't matter. When you're part of a bigger team, something that's bigger than you, you're going to learn valuable lessons in life, right? You're going to learn how to listen, one of the unforgotten skills in this country right now, and maybe in this world. Listen. You see, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. He wants you to do something. He wants you to listen twice as much as he wants you to talk. Now, what's really important is that you listen, you stay humble, you get excited. What's really important is when these teachers are talking to you or they're giving you advice on an older person, You digest it. You make it part of you. Make that tacit information part of you. And I promise you that information that they're giving you will impact you in your future. See, these coaches that impacted me, they taught me a lot of great lessons in life. Besides teamwork that we just discussed, and humility, hard work, dedication, the value of the person next to you, to your right and to your left. Me, because I'm biased, because I play football, I have an opinion on football, and I see some other athletes in here that also might feel the same as me. But with football, you're in the arena, and there's blood, and there's sweat, and there's tears, and there's pain. And in life, I promise you, you have to give in order to get. So because of the coaches that are in this school, Jack Fletcher, Bruce Rich, Tom Cato, Mr. Parasol, Coach Beraldi. I mean, these are some old names. But these are names that have impacted people that they haven't even met yet, because they impacted me, and hopefully I can impact you with some of those same lessons, those same values in life. So as Sal's Pizza, the Lupoli company, continues to evolve, I make it my mission to talk to my employees, and this is what I ask my employees. Please go home early. Please take days off if you can make a difference in your community. Now, it's easy to say, right? It's easy to make that statement, and that sounds pretty sexy and fun and wow. But what are you going to do about it, Sal? Well, first of all, I want to talk about the value of education and how so critical it is. Imagine being the president of your organization, and there's 800 or 900 people that work in your organization, and you report to nobody. They report to you, and I say it respectfully and humbly. Imagine you decide to immerse yourself in one of the hardest educational programs in the world. And that's what I decided to do, because I wanted to prove two segments. I wanted to prove to my children it's never too late to get an education, and I wanted to prove to my employees you can always better yourself in life. So where did I go? I went and got my master's from MIT full-time every day. I stopped, or tried to stop what I was doing, went to Cambridge every single day for a year. Imagine doing that at the age of 46 years old. And that's what I did. Why? Because it's never too late to get an education. You can never stop learning. Where did I get that? Who you are is where you came from. I got that right here at Sunset High School. From my teachers that said, Sal, never stop learning. Never stop asking questions. Never stop invoking your influence. So with that education from MIT, I was able to raise my company even higher, right? Because I saw something a little different, right? I saw something not only at 50,000 feet anymore, I saw it at 100. And that 100 allowed a lot of things. It allowed me to hire more employees. It allowed me to go into different communities. And we're in a lot of communities. They're called gateway cities. And there's only 27 gateway cities in the state of Massachusetts. And those gateway cities, let's just cut to the chase, they're not the most affluent communities, right? They're Lowell's, Lawrence, Haverhill's. I went to the poorest city in the state of Massachusetts, 351 cities and towns in the state. I went to the poorest one, the 351st, as it relates to the most challenged. Lawrence, Massachusetts. Many of the people in this room will tell you this. Lawrence, Massachusetts is strictly the city you drive by when you're on 495 or 93. Imagine going to the poorest city at the age of 37 years old and mortgaging the home where your children sleep to invest into a city of blight. Why? Because you have a vision. And we're full circle back to the word I said in the very beginning, vision. You see, some people say we have a great vision. We don't have a great vision. We have great dreams. The only difference with our organization is we take dreams and we turn them into reality. And when you turn a dream into a reality, then you're complemented with a great vision. But it starts with the dream. So on your journey, dream big. On your journey, don't be afraid to fail. I've failed so many times that I still have the scars on my hands and knees when I fell. But all I can tell you is when you fall and you get back up, don't look behind you. Because when you look behind you, you could stumble and fall again. Look forward, stay focused. Move on that straight line. Make a difference in this world. There's no question about it. Imagine all the stuff that I just described you. 2.5 years ago, I decided to make an impact in my own town, right? I was tired of hearing of the challenges in our community, in the school system. You know, You can sit around a table and you can complain about the problem, or you can roll up your sleeves and do something about it. And I always say respectfully and humbly, I don't know if you have the right to complain about a problem if you're not willing to do something about it. Otherwise, please stand up in the stands, and that's okay. And let the gladiators, men and women, get in the arena and do something about it. And that's what you girls are going to be. You're going to be gladiators because you're going to make an impact. Because when you see an injustice, you're going to step up to the plate. And when we saw something back a couple and a half years ago, and I got to tell you the truth, our school systems, they were a little challenged back then. And some of the people in this room, I'm sure, can remind you. They were challenged because there was some creative accounting taking place, and it just wasn't right. So as opposed to just talking about it, I decided to jump in. And so today, I stand in front of you not just as an alumni, as a school committee member. I like to think I make an impact. I look over straight ahead over to my left, and I see probably one of the greatest assets this town has right now in the school systems, which is Principal Steve Murray. And I look at my friend, and I can remember standing with him on the corner and saying, Steve, we're going to win this, and when we win this, you're coming back to Chelmsford. I've never seen in my life a student body, when a principal walked in, they got on their hands and knees at a pep rally and praised him. I've never seen that. And that's not just because they respect him, that's because they love him. And I promise you, in life, you want to be loved more than you want to be feared. You see, we might have had people in the past that they barked a lot and you were fearful of them. But I promise love will accomplish much more than fear. So all I can tell you is along the journey that I've been on, we've impacted a lot of lives. I'm very proud of that. I'm most proud of the impact that I've made on people's lives, and they don't even realize it. Right? I'm most proud of that, because the greatest gift in life is to do something for somebody and don't ask anything in return. Don't even ask for a thank you. Just go about your business and know that because of you, you've impacted somebody's life and made it better. Wow, what a gift. Don't take, give. Because I promise if you give, it'll come back tenfold. And that sounds corny, but I'm here to tell you that's the truth. We're one of the largest construction companies in the state of Massachusetts. We have millions of square feet. We have thousands of people that we put to work on a yearly basis, weekly basis. Those are the great things right there. Remember, in your life, when you come to that fork in the road, close your eyes. The next decision I make, will my mother and father be proud of me? And if the answer is yes, make the choice. Good luck. God bless. I hope everything works out. If you need anything, please come to your alumni.